It's 10 a.m. here in Harare, Zimbabwe's capital. Welcome to ZTN News Blitz, our top stories. Zimbabwe runs out of mealie-meal. Harare begins drawing water from Lake Manyame. British MPs finally endorse Brexit deal. And in sports, Shaun Williams delighted to be Zimbabwe Chevrons captain. Zimbabwe has been hit by mealie-meal shortages. A visit to most retailers in the capital, Harare, shows empty shelves. Retailers are attributing the shortage to the grain subsidy introduced by the government last year. The subsidy model was meant to cushion vulnerable groups in society. Now, recently, authorities introduced a voucher system to protect the facility from being abused. Confederation of Zimbabwe Retailers President Denford Mutashu spoke to ZTN.
If you look at mealie-meal, for example, it was not even available, especially that which the government has subsidized, and yet there was huge demand for the products of the market.
But Finance Minister Professor Mthuli Ncube blames individuals for abusing the facility and reselling the product in neighboring countries.
But I'm also aware of what's going on. I'm aware that some roller meal, which is being sold at the subsidized price of $50 per 10 kg, is finding its way across the borders. I'm aware some people are buying it at $50 and then they get it across and make a margin by selling it for a higher price. That, of course, we frown upon that.
Zimbabwe's capital, Harare, has begun drawing water from Lake Manyame. It is now drawing 50% of its water from Lake Chevrons and the remainder from Lake Manyame. The city has been sourcing water solely from Lake Chevrons, which is expensive as the water is polluted and most water treatment chemicals are imported. The Harare City Council argues that a new water source has to be established, and the Harare City Council Principal Communications Officer Innocent Ruwende speaks.
In terms of the water quality, there's not much difference. Lake Chevrons and Manyame. The only difference is the hyacinth, the green part of it. But we are using almost the same amount of chemicals. We are only reducing, it must be one chemical by 26%. The real solution for that is the construction of new sources. The Msame, the Kunzi dams, which have been on the cards for several years, they have to come to fruition if we are to solve the water crisis.
However, the Harare Residents Trust says the city fathers are looking for a scapegoat as 60% of the water is lost through leakages. Harare Residents Trust Director Precious Chumba spoke to ZTN.
To us, they are giving an excuse to justify why they are failing to provide us with water. The little water that they are getting, they are getting 40% to consumers, and 60% of that is being lost through leakages and theft along the water distribution network.
On the international front, British MPs have finally given their formal backing to Boris Johnson's Brexit deal after more than 3 years of bitter parliamentary wrangling over the UK's departure from the EU. The historic European Union withdrawal agreement bill cleared the Commons on Thursday afternoon, despite Labour opposition, as MPs gave the draft legislation its third reading by 330 votes to 231. That's a majority of 99. It is the final major Commons hurdle to navigate and will now head to the House of Lords next week for further scrutiny before the UK leaves the EU on January the 31st. Bit of sports news. A newly appointed Zimbabwe senior men cricket test captain Shaun Williams is delighted with his new role ahead of this month's test series. Williams spoke to ZTN at the training grounds where they are preparing for this month's two-match test series at home against Sri Lanka.
It's an honour and it's a privilege to be the captain of my country. Obviously, Test cricket is the pinnacle of cricket. It is the purest form of the game, and obviously, having Andy Flower, Heath Streak, Taibu, Mazakadza, Taylor, all representing the country as captain in the past, and myself now taking over, I've got big boots to fill, and for me, it's an honour.
In football, Zimbabwe international goalkeeper Martin Mapisa has joined a Spanish fourth-tier side, Zamora Football Club, coming from another Spanish side, Valles. Valles announced on their website the departure of the Zimbabwean goalkeeper. Now, it is Mapisa's third club in Spain, where he first joined Malaga-based side CD Almenacir after leaving Aces Youth Academy in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe's debutant at the Dakar Rally 2020, Graham Sharp, had a tough time in Stage 5 on Thursday, finishing 99th. This slides him down the rankings to 87th from 80 position after Stage 5 in the general rankings. Another Zimbabwean, Conrad Rautenbach, put on a strong performance in the SSV cars, finishing third behind Cyril Despres and Aaron Domzala. This puts Rautenbach at 7th position in the overall standings. Now, that's all we had on ZTN News Blitz this hour. Join Christine at 1 p.m. But for more news, you can visit ztn.co.zw and other social media platforms. Thank you for watching.